All right, we coming in hot. Like I already told y'all what it's gonna be this year. So as you can see by the title of this video, you can see what this video is about. I wanted to talk about this because as I was seeing a lot of different comments on these clips that are circulating from this interview with Cam Newton and Dimitri Wiley, I was like, are we watching the same video? Like, are we not watching the same thing? Then I'm like, wow, people really have a misconception of what self-control is. And I know a lot of people aren't really fond of Cam Newton. Me personally, I don't have a problem with him. I happen to like him. And the reason I like him is not because he's perfect or he does everything right and he's completely upstanding in every area of his life. But what I like about Cam Newton is that he is himself. He is like super authentic to me. Like I feel like when I see him in these interviews, I feel like when the cameras go off, like that's exactly how he is. Like his personality, his vibe, I feel like that's exactly how he is off camera. And I can really appreciate people who are themselves and they don't care what people think. They don't care about appeasing people or, making people, accept them. They're just themselves unapologetically. And I also get from Cam too is that he is a respectful person. Like he's not someone that goes out of his way to disrespect people or, make people uncomfortable or anything like that. Does he have some ego? Yeah. Does he have pride? Yes. But it's not like excessive in my opinion. He's a former athlete. He still has a status and that kind of like comes along with the territory. Heck, you got regular people who are egotistical and they don't even have that. So I can truly appreciate authenticity. And so I like him. That's my unpopular opinion. I like him. Would I date someone like him? No, because I feel like he would, he might be somebody that's a little difficult to deal with, but I do see the good in him for sure. But we're going to talk about this clip. I want to react to this particular part of the interview where I saw a lot of controversy and people kind of just like having this opinion of, Cam not having self-control and being a man who's lustful. So let's watch it real quick.
I'm checking.
Stop.
Go ahead.
Stop.
Do you have any platonic relationships in your life right now?
With the woman?
Yeah.
No.
Is that by choice?
I'm not about to be around no woman platonically. Listen.
We gotta unpack this, Cam. Why?
Because I'm not about to play them type of games.
Is it self-control?
Call it what you want.
I'm asking.
Call it may be self-control.
I'm asking.
If she fine, I'm not about to have her around playing like I don't think that she's attractive.
Is it possible to think someone's attractive and still behave yourself?
Yes.
Do you have control of them thoughts?
Yes. But I'm not about to play them games.
What game is it?
The game of saying, hey, we not about to be friends. I don't have good-looking women that's friends around me.
So
no.
Just all the. Do you have any ugly ones? I gotta ask.
I don't even have women friends, bro. Respectfully.
Why?
I
understand you saying you're not finna play this game, but Cam, you're a smart man. I'm gonna need you to go deeper than that.
Yeah, we're gonna go deeper. I know me.
Okay.
I know me.
And what that mean?
That means if I'm around a woman long enough, I'm going to find something good in her that attracts me.
Okay, and when you're attractive, what then happens? When you're attracted, what then happens?
Sex.
Oh, God damn, Cam. Cam, this is a bigger issue than I thought we had here.
So understanding that I know what's to come from a platonic situation, I don't even play. No, I don't do that. Baby, you too fine for me. We not doing that.
Interesting.
No.
So, okay. if I take the word friendship off of the table, do you have platonic relationships in your life that?
All right. So that was the clip that I wanted to respond to specifically. So he said that he does not have platonic friendships with women, whether they are attractive or whether they are unattractive. The purpose of that is because he's going to find them attractive, even if they're unattractive. And that is going to be a temptation for him. He at some point is going to think of them or want them sexually. So him having the awareness that that's where his mind may go, he doesn't even entertain those situations. And ladies and gentlemen, that is what you call wisdom. That is what you call wisdom, is learning from past experiences and making better choices and not putting yourself in a position to make those same mistakes. And so a lot of people are like, oh, you should be able to restrain yourself. You should be able to control yourself in the presence of beautiful women. Well, let's not twist his words. Like he didn't say that he's never around women. Obviously, he's around women. He has women that he works with. He has women that come on the show as guests, very beautiful women. I mean, I can go down the list. So he interacts and engages with women, but not in an intimate like setting. And when I say intimate, I'm not meaning like where he's in his bed and she's in the bed with him. I mean like going to dinner, going to lunch, them meeting up one-on-one. He doesn't have platonic friendships with women. And so I'm just reading between the lines here. So we have eyes, right? And I think most of us can see that Cam Newton, we're not talking about his fashion. We're not talking about his fashion. We're talking about how he looks physically. He's an attractive man. He's tall, which most of us women like. You above 6 feet, that's already a pro. That's already like an advantage. So he's above 6 feet. I don't know exactly how tall he is, but he's tall, dark, and handsome. Beautiful teeth. So Cam can have a lot of women if he wants to. Like, and I know that that's his past. He comes from a past of having pretty much any woman that he wants. And coming from that past and having access to women like he had access to women, I'm sure that that is something that is like a drug, like being able to get all those women and, just getting all this praise, not even just from women, but from people in general in the career field that he had. So he can easily like fall back into a place of like feeling that adrenaline rush, that feel good feeling of being praised and being admired. And so that can be like a drug. Attention, I always say, is a drug. And so being that he knows himself, he knows how that feels, that could be something that can be a wedge in his new relationship. And so let's look at the intent behind what he's doing. Why is Cam wanting to not involve himself in platonic relationships with women? Because he wants to be faithful. He wants to be a good man to the woman that he's with. Now, I'm not saying he is a good man to the woman that he's with. I don't know his personal business, but I'm saying like he is trying. He is taking action. He is literally eliminating the possibility of an affair. And to me, that is something admirable. I really think that's dope. Like a man who is practicing restraint and not putting himself in a situation for the temptation to happen at all is, I can't do nothing but respect that. Like, I think that that is really, really dope. Um, and we can look at it like, we can look at this in an analogy. So, say for instance, you're a person who was formerly addicted to the M word that rhymes with Seth. And let's say you got off of the drug, you are now on the straight and narrow, you went to AA, you went to rehab, you did all the things to get off of that. And now you are doing really, really well. That is not no longer a struggle and you are completely free. Would you go back into an environment where other people are doing that, other people are addicted to that? Would you go back to maybe the trap house where they do this? Like, would you put yourself back in that environment? And if you put yourself back in that environment, is it possible to not fall back into those old habits and be addicted to that again? Absolutely. It's very possible. But then what? You're going to be struggling. You're going to be thinking about it. You're going to be fighting it. And sometimes when you put yourself back into those old environments, you may not relapse immediately, but the seed has been planted or replanted. And now it's on your mind. And now you're struggling with something that if you just never had put yourself in the situation, you would have never had to deal with this, these thoughts. And so sometimes it's like, I don't even want to struggle or battle with that thing. So I don't put myself in that situation. So like, if you wouldn't call a person who wouldn't put themselves back into a situation to be back addicted to substances, if you wouldn't call them a person who lacks self-control, then you shouldn't call Cam that either. Because it's the same thing. It's literally the same exact thing. And so another perspective and another way of seeing this is, could Cam be around women who are beautiful or just women in general and control himself? Well, he said yes. If you go back and watch the clip, he said yes, he can control himself. Can he control those thoughts even? Yeah, possibly, but we can't even always control our thoughts. He said yes, but I would say that he can control them to an extent. Sometimes you can't even control your thoughts. And so going around beautiful women, being around beautiful women in an intimate way, what that can do is start planting seeds. And now you're having thoughts about this woman. You may not act on it right away, or you may not act on it at all, but you're having thoughts about this woman and as a man. And you didn't do anything with her, but now it could be a situation where it's interfering with your relationship. And so to paint a picture, you might be having a fantasy about this woman now, and your partner may be wanting to be intimate with you, maybe spend quality time with you, talk to you. And now your partner is a nuisance to you. Like they're interrupting this fantasy that you have in your head about this person. And the trick of the enemy is always like, oh, the grass is greener on the other side. Because maybe it's not the physical attraction. Maybe it's just the fact that, oh, wow, this person's seen me. The way that this person talked to me, their femininity. Maybe, you had a conversation with this woman and she really had great advice. She was able to maybe console you during a time where you were like down. Because we're talking about friends, right? Because friends, that's what friends do. Friends are there to support you. Friends are there to console you. Friends are there to just be there for you and, just be kind of like a therapist, somebody to talk to. So you can easily fall for somebody like that. Like you can create a connection, an emotional connection with someone that way. And so now that you're having this little fantasy in your head about this person, and now your partner is becoming a nuisance to you. So you see how just that decision of being a platonic friend can interfere with your relationship, and you didn't even do anything. You didn't fall into, the temptation. You weren't intimate with this person, but it's still affecting you. It's still affecting your relationship. And so this is definitely an unpopular opinion, but I definitely think that Cam making that decision is an act of self-control. It's an act of self-awareness. And I like the guy, Dimitri. I do like him. I like a lot of his content. I think a lot of his stuff is dope. And I think he's doing a wonderful thing, especially in this climate of like men hating women. I love what he's doing. But I will have to say in this particular interview, he is judging this from a very narrow perspective. And also he has to understand that he and Cam are not in the same category. They're not. The temptation that each of them face is going to be different. Cam is a man who has and probably still faces way more temptation than a Dimitri Wiley. And that's no shade or disrespect to him. I'm just saying, like, Dimitri Wiley is not a former professional athlete, and Cam Newton was just not any old player that, didn't get playtime or anything like that. Like, he was a star athlete. So the temptation that he faced and that he endured is something that probably Dimitri can't even fathom. The average man can't even fathom. And so he has to do a little bit more to keep himself in a place of staying on the right path than the average person. Even now, because he still has a status. And so, yeah, that's my take on the situation. Let me know your thoughts in the comments and stay tuned for the next video.